Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee, maybe a snack or two. You're gonna need it, no joke. All right, listen, sit back, relax, put a pillow behind your back. All right, you're gonna need to, because what I'm about to tell you, I just found out, and I did some research, and I'm like, oh my God, this is tying in with everything that we're seeing and hearing with the 15-minute cities, food rationing in the UK, which by the way has ended so far, but I'll go on. There's going to be this new program that's called Excess Consumption and 21 Circular Economy Solutions. That's changing how we eat, live, and travel for a more sustainable world. No joke, okay? It is a limited consumption amount on your part, my part, our part, okay? And then if you surpass that, you're going to be taxed and penalized. And once you go to whatever the certain final range is deemed, they're going to cut you off completely. Now, you're going to hear about these excess consumption programs more and more. All right. Now, you know Kazakhstan in Central Asia, which is now telling its citizens to conserve gas in spite of the fact of having the world's largest reserves in natural gas. The rationing would also apply to food. Even though, okay, let's talk about the UK real quick, okay? Even though, okay, Britain's biggest supermarket, they introduced a cap of 3 items per customer on veggies, and that was on February 22nd, shortly after the big 4 supermarkets announced that they were limiting purchases. Now, Tesco, Aldi, and Lidl, they removed the buying limits on fresh produce 3 weeks after the supermarket chain began rationing veggies due to shortages, all right? And the retail giants confirmed that they removed the limits on tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers, okay? Now, the British government is also considering a national database where Britons will need to present their ID or show their faces in front of a scanner to receive their daily food allotment. So this whole thing about tracking and tracing food purchases is nothing more than to get you on a database or into a digital rationing card. Now, food supply, harvest, it's all being compromised, okay? Now, the North African country of Morocco, they hit a record low on its wheat production for 2022. Its barley crop had also been reduced to 70% from last year, thanks to a drought, massive cold snap affecting the crops, okay? Now, Australia's barley harvest, that also dropped 33%, mainly because of UVB radiation, aside from Morocco and Australia. The other countries like Argentina, Canada, Kazakhstan, Uruguay, they also saw reduced barley yields. A food supply crisis, it's here, okay? Everything else that is happening only serves as a distraction. Shiny object. Look at what's going on over here, not over here. Stay focused. It's one of those, okay? It's a distraction away from the natural cycles and humanity's ability to grow food on this planet. Now, in 2019, the global economy consumed over 100 billion tons of materials. Feeding the world and the circular economy, okay, this is now where I'm going back to what I first said originally, okay, about, God help me, about the 21 circular economy solutions, okay, because this is all tied in together, okay. There's things that are going to start to happen that they want us to do. And if we don't do it, it's called big no, you're in trouble, okay? The first thing is enough really can be, it's called enough is enough / excessive consumption. Okay, that's the excessive consumption. They want you to stop. Stop eating as much. Stop it. You're fat. Knock it off. Okay. The second thing, put healthier satiated foods. First, bringing the per capita caloric and protein intakes of high income, high emitter countries like here in the US or in the EU down to match healthy levels. Like, they don't want you to eat anything more than 2,000 calories a day, and that's just for women. Okay? So if you're a guy and you're 6'2", 6'3", and you're already 250 pounds, guess what? You can't eat anything more than 2,000 calories a day. All right? Oh, you wanted an apple for a snack? Guess what? That's considered an empty calorie, so you can't have it. Oh, you wanted chocolate milk? Too bad. All right? Empty calorie. So the next thing is here we go again, embrace the plant-based diet. Eat your bugs. Okay? The next thing, shop your fridge and cook creatively. Well, I do that every day anyway, but it's because I'm prepped up. Just like all of you, I'm prepped. Okay? The next thing, check for certifications, meaning it comes from ecosystems that are managed according to the environmental standards that enable regeneration. All right. Number 6, support local. All right. I support that. I'll go to my local farms. Yeah. All right. Okay. The 7th one, cook clean, meaning replace your polluting traditional biomass and black carbon producing stoves. So if you've got a gas stove or a propane stove, throw it out. Throw it out. And you can only cook with clean cooking apparatuses, including advanced solar electric stoves. All right. Now, this does not just touch your food. No. Nay, nay. Homes and buildings and the circular economy. Okay. Design flexible multi-purpose homes. This calls for fewer but better new houses to be built and make using them for multi-purpose the norm, especially in higher income countries like here in the US or the UK, where we have masses of stock already built up to make the most of the buildings we already have. They should be flexibly and be able to adapt as time and needs evolve. Imagine a hybrid building that is used for flex work office space, community center, and then in the evening a school. Such spaces can be payment per use, such as a cross-industry collaborative building. The next one, use existing homes for longer. The next one is no building left behind or empty. The next one, nature-based solutions and renewable technologies. Renewable technologies such as solar, photovoltaic, or thermal air source and geothermal heat pumps to shrink the carbon footprint of a property. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is consuming and producing goods and the circular economy. Make careful consumer choices. And by what they mean by that is we need to begin by using less, increasing digitization to reduce paper use, not making textiles from animals, aiming to eradicate single-use plastic, optimizing the uses of electronics to minimize e-waste, choosing only eco-labeled, responsibly sourced timber furniture, and prioritizing local purchased and sourcing. The next one, get repairing and sharing. We must also learn to make the most of the stuff that we have. So instead of replacing, you have to fix what's broken. And if it's not repairable, too bad. The next thing, support right to repair. The backwards practice of designing products to break relatively quickly, planned or built-in obsolescence, must be eliminated, or we should choose to not invest in the companies that fail to do so. So pretty much everything that's made in China. Anyway, the next one, consider chemicals. To reduce the level of toxins and pollutants in the environment, we should prioritize the use of sustainable materials for chemical-free consumables. The next thing is recycle and help build secondary markets. The next thing that we're going to talk about is mobility, travel, and the circular economy. This is where the 15-minute city thing comes in. Travel less often. The next one is go for lightweight designs. Lightweight and smaller vehicles such as cars and scooters, can you see my ass on a scooter? Anyway, result in less steel and aluminum used for production, as well as lower fuel consumption and embodied energy. The next one is keep your car for longer. The next one is share when you can. Shared mobility via car clubs, pools, ride sharing, and public transport with park and ride provision to cut fuel consumption. Then the last one is design for reuse. Finally, optimizing end of life vehicle management is critical to cycle flows, with the recycling of metal and plastic components and the use of recycled materials on the rise. So, this, when I started to dig and I saw this, I said, my word, they literally want to control every aspect, every fiber of our beings, from what we eat to how we dress to where we live to what kind of car we drive to, I mean, if something breaks and you can't fix it, you're not allowed to replace it. Who died and made you boss? That's my, I mean, that that saying, my grandfather used to say that all the time. It's a typical Italian thing. But seriously, where do you get off trying to implement these things, these rules in this world? Are you sick? My God. Who the hell do you think you are? This is not, I will not comply with that. You're going to tell me I can't have more than, I mean, I barely eat 2,000 calories a day anyway, ever since I started this new medication that my doctor put me on, but still in all, if you've got a guy who works all day out in the heat, literally working his fingers to the bone, and you're going to tell him he can't have more than 2,000 calories a day? You know what, buddy? Until you work as hard as he does instead of sitting behind a computer and trying to make up all these rules, you're not allowed to tell him what the hell he's allowed to eat and how many calories he can have. And not just that, you're not allowed to tell his wife what the hell she's allowed to cook in her friggin' kitchen either, to feed her hungry guy when he comes home from work. Holy shiznit. Oh, balls you got. No kidding. All right. My husband's almost home. And you know what I made him? I made him Italian rice balls, and then I made pasta and all the gooey, yummy stuff that comes along with it. And that's more than 2,000 calories right there. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.